In this video, we're going to be going over some strategies to help you grow your sales on eBay. And one of the most basic things that we can be doing right now on eBay to help generate more sales is focusing on title structure and price. Why are we focusing on those two important things? Is because I believe that it is the title and the price that contribute the most to converting into sales. So eBay's algorithm is based on search. It is a search-based algorithm. And if we're not writing and structuring the correct titles on how eBay wants the titles done and how your buyer is searching for your item, then your items may never be found. And another key contributor is we may be pricing our items incorrectly. So the basic understanding of economics is supply versus demand. And why this is important is because if we aren't pricing our items in the market demand, your item will never sell. So let's get right into it. I have picked out a few eBay stores. If you want an eBay store review, drop it in the comment section and I will get to it. We had a few people from last week's live, so we're going to be jumping right into it. And the things we're going to be focusing on mainly are title and price. And then we're going to take a look at the photos, condition description, product description. But it is literally the title and price that are the things that you can do right now in your eBay store to help generate more sales, which is the goal of today's live. How can we get you on track? Title and price. So Elite Supply Bunker last week came into the live, wanted an eBay store review, and we kind of passed that over to this week. So just looking at his store, 1,100 items, 100% feedback, very good. Pictures look nice and clear, and they look good. It looks presentable. It looks uniform. They look straight, and that right there already as a buyer, you're like, okay, this person is serious. We're taking them serious. They are taking eBay seriously. So Eddie Bauer, straight fit, men's denim jeans, size 32-30. So right away, what do we see here? We see that the title has good keywords, but it's out of order. If you do a quick search on your eBay platform and just type in men's jeans, you're going to find every single listing has different title structure. So what do we look for when we're trying to structure titles? And what am I trying to do when I'm structuring titles? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reach as many people as possible searching for that item. How can I do this? I need to get in the mind of the end buyer and what are the common majority of buyers searching? Are they searching Eddie Bauer straight fit men's denim jeans, or are they typing in Eddie Bauer jeans? So getting into the mind of the buyer and figuring out what are the common majority of people typing in when they're looking for Eddie Bauer jeans. Just think of that. When you're listing your items, are you typing in Eddie Bauer, dark wash, mid-rise, stretch? And some people don't even put the name of the item. They'll put all these keywords in the brand, and then they leave out jeans, or they'll leave out pants, they'll leave out shirt. So really think about your end buyer. eBay gives you the structure on how they want the titles done for electronics, for media, for clothing. So kind of use that as a guide, but I also take it a next step further going like, well, what is the common buyer typing in? Because remember, eBay's algorithm is a search-based algorithm. If you type in looking for a video on YouTube, how to make spaghetti, but it shows you all these other how to fix your car, how to change your oil. You really need to, what is the title of my item that the buyer is trying to search for? Similar, very similar. So you need to really get into that mindset and that title structure and really clue in on what is my buyer typing in and how can I get as close to that as possible so I can end up in front of them when they are wanting to make a purchase. So that is the first thing I see 90% of people's problems why they aren't seeing consistent sales on eBay is because there's inconsistencies in their title structure. And this is great news, though, because it's so easy to go in your bulk editor on eBay and just go one by one and edit all of them to the title structure that is going to be common for your buyer. So right away, Elite Supply Bunker. This is good news because you can go back in and just fix these titles. You don't need to add in any special items to help get more sales. You don't need to change any pricing to get more sales. I just think that I looked at your store and it's just a title problem. That's it. So it's easy to go in and restructure in this title would be Eddie Bauer jeans, men's, followed by the size, and then the additional keywords. I do not put size in my clothing listings, so because I feel like there's a better keyword that we can be using in place of size. So Eddie Bauer jeans, men's 3230, and then you would put straight fit, blue, denim, mid-rise, pockets, zipper, fill out the keywords to the best that you can. They give you 80 characters to use, and I try to use up the total amount possible. Another thing, too, is like your shipping. Maybe you're doing calculated shipping, but I can guarantee you no one's going to pay $17 to ship, to pay for shipping to have a pair of jeans shipped to them. So eBay charges $7.60 to ship out a pair of jeans in a flat rate envelope, USPS priority. So I charge $8.95 on my priority jeans. So when a buyer's searching for jeans, they're not going to be seeing a lot of listings that are charging $17 for shipping. So that right there is going to be very off-putting to your buyer, and they're not going to want to be paying that high of price. And also, including just getting to your photos, they look really good. They look well lit. But adding in some measurements is really going to go a long way, especially to help avoiding returns in the future. Also will help get some more photos in your listing. You want to be as authentic and as transparent as possible when you're trying to communicate to the end buyer, here's the inseam, here's the rise, here's the waist measurements, to really cut down on returns, but also to show more photos of the item you're listing. So I don't know what's going on with your shipping. I charge a flat rate shipping for all of my items. Items under 1 pound go for $5.95 USPS first class. Items over 1 pound, like jeans, sweaters, anything that's going to be fitting into a flat rate envelope or a legal flat rate envelope will be $8.95. Jackets and boots and shoes go $12.95 to $14.95 in a medium flat rate box. So those are my 3 pricing structures for shipping. That's it. And if it's a huge bulk order, that gets shipped UPS ground. So fixing your shipping, going back through your store, looking at your shipping prices, all of this can be done in the bulk editor. Very easy to do. But $17.05 for shipping for a pair of jeans is not going to work. It's not going to convert any buyer. No buyers are going to be paying that. But it is a very easy fix, going into your bulk editor and just fixing all of those. They should easily fit in a flat rate envelope. And if they're a big jeans, 44 by 30, 48 by 30, those will fit into a legal flat rate envelope, which then you would charge $8.95 for shipping. And eBay will only charge you $7.90 for a legal flat rate envelope. I just price about $1 or $2 more to help give me some wiggle room there in case. But so pictures look good. Try adding some more photos, fixing your shipping price, and adding measurements to your photos as well. And some of your titles could use a little more keywords. Try filling it out. Your keywords, think of it as like those are arrows pointing to my item. So how many arrows do you want pointing to your item? So the less keywords, the less things that are pointing to your item. So the more keywords that you can accurately describe your item, the more impressions you're going to get, the more higher rank in search it's going to get. So just think of it that way. Try to get as many keywords as you can in there, but don't keyword spam. Don't just put blue, fuzzy, happy, apples, all these random words. Just put in the keywords that are going to describe your item. And as you get better on eBay, you're going to start developing more keywords. So really good store, though, as far as photos. One thing I like to do, so you have 1,100 items. I want to just check a quick sell-through rate on how things are converting in your store. Nice, you sold Gloria Vanderbilt pants. That is right there an award, because that brand doesn't sell. So you sold it. That right there is a good thing. That brand I probably wouldn't suggest picking up, but you did sell them nonetheless for $17 shipping. That's awesome. Impressive. So you had 1 sale today, 2 sales today. How many yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. On the 27th, you had 4. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's pretty. So let's just say you're averaging 3 to 5 sales a day in an 1,100 item store. That's pretty average. That's pretty basic. A really good sign of a healthy store would be selling a 1% sell-through rate per day in your store. So say you have 100 items, you want to be selling 1 item a day. If you have 1,000 items, you'd hopefully aim to sell about 10 items a day. So just keep working, keep getting better at your titles. Fixing your shipping is going to immediately start helping your store out. And then you can start going back, working through your titles. I hope that was helpful for you. And getting into the chat, a few other people. Okay, I got most of your stores lined up, but I'll add in a few more. Man of the Castle Clothing. I hope I got that right. I hope this is your store. It looks great. I went through your store for just a brief minute, and you got those titles down. I mean, those titles, it looked like I was looking at my store. So the titles are on point. Very good job. And just for example, like for anyone that's maybe just getting started on eBay, or they want to get started on eBay and they just really don't know, it's a lot of information, it's very overwhelming. Take a look at some of these titles. They all look similar. We want similar title structures for the first few words throughout our whole store. So look at this. It's Columbia jacket, Eddie Bauer shirt, Adidas shirt, Lyle & Scott shirt, Old Navy shirt. I can go on. It'll be boring. I will stop right there. But look at the title structure. It is similar throughout the entire store, and that's what you want. So he has brand, item, gender, size, followed with keywords. And that is key right there. You want the same title structure throughout. So very good. I think your photos look good. I pulled up this Old Navy shirt, and right away, you have photos that are including the measurements. That right there is a great sign. You have a picture of your care tag, your size tag, and you're even taking a photo of your SKU number as the last photo. That is a great strategy for never losing an item. So you have your condition description here. Very good. You say, please review measurements and photos. That is a key thing right there, because not a lot of buyers look at the photos. They hardly even look at what they're buying half the time. And I like your description. You're just putting your policy in your description. You don't want to put this huge paragraph where your buyer's not going to read that. You just want to make your points and be done. So the things that I would just, look to do would be just keep on keeping on. Your pricing looks great. You're not too out of, you're not pricing out of the market. You're not pricing Eddie Bauer shirts at $34, $24. That's about usually what the price for an Eddie Bauer shirt goes for, between $10 to $17, depending on condition. And I just think that this store is a great example for anyone that might be getting started and they're just trying to figure out things. He has 1,000 items in his store, and you really just want your titles to look similar. And if you look through his store, you can see that. One thing you can do too is if you are, maybe you have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 items in your store, going back to your oldest listings first and working on 5 or 10 listings a day, and just kind of correcting item specifics maybe that you have gotten wrong, or maybe fixing some titles that you maybe were rushing, or maybe you didn't even know how to do titles back then. That can help give a resurgence to those older items that after about 90 to 120 days on the eBay platform, your sales are going to be like struggling because those older items are pulling down your store. Those older items need to have some kind of activity on them. So by you just going in there and fixing some item specifics, fixing a keyword or two in the title, kind of gives it some new life, as well as running some type of markdown sale for older items. Those combinations together are going to help bring new life to your oldest items in your store. So go back into your bulk editor, search your store through the oldest items, and go back and just fix a few a day. It can be overwhelming if you have 10,000 items in your store and the first 3,000 items you did incorrectly. But just take a little bit at a time, so you can go back and fix those title structures and maybe add in a few item specifics that you learned along the way of doing eBay. So great title structure. Let's take a look at like what your sell-through rate is. How many are you selling a day? With about 1,100 items so far, you've sold one today, one yesterday, and how many on the 27th? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems like just a couple a day. On the 23rd was a good day. So you really want to just be aiming with that size of a store at least 5 sales a day, and you really need to do a self-audit of your store, the items you're putting in your store, the pricing that you're putting in. You really want to pay attention to that, because you don't want to just keep building this store up and you're still selling 5 items a day. And you definitely don't want to be increasing your listing goal when you're not seeing those sales come through. If you're getting 5 sales a day and you're listing 10 a day, you don't want to necessarily go to 20 items or 30 items a day when you're still getting those 5 sales a day. So you want to just slowly ramp up your listing goal. I don't know how many you're listing a day, but it seems like you're averaging 3 to 5 sales a day. Now you're just going to really want to pick up better items, price your items, be aggressive with you do a 20% off coupon, do an aggressive markdown sale, accept more offers, send out more aggressive offers. All of these things in combination together are going to help generate more sales. But you have some of the hardest parts already figured out. That is title structure and pricing. Now just consider, maybe I'm going to accept a little bit more lower offers. I don't know. Everyone's business is different. Everyone's cost of goods is different. So you really need to do that self-evaluation of your business, going like, what am I paying for my cost of goods? How low can I really go on these items? And maybe I'm going to less counter and more accept on these offers that you are getting. So, who knows what your cost of goods are, but really make that self-evaluation of like, okay, maybe I'm going to accept more offers. But otherwise, your title structure looks good. I would just go in and tweak maybe some of your pricing and start accepting maybe some more offers and starting to, your brands are good. Vineyard Vines, Hollister, Derek Lee, John Deere. And it seems like you're focusing mainly on shirts, men's tops. So, yeah, and I don't know what your listing goal looks like, but if you just continue to scale and ramp up your store and continue to do what you're doing, the eBay's algorithm will continue to push your items. So it's hard to tell with what your listing goal is and whatnot, but the hardest part is done, and that is title structure, which can be the hardest part for most people when they're getting started. So Miriam, I hope that this is your store, Quality Treasures. I searched for it under the store eBay function to search for your store. I didn't find Quality Treasures 888, so maybe you can verify that for me. So cards for sale, we'll get to you. Cards for sale, let me just put that in right now. All right. Yeah, if you guys want an eBay store review, just drop it in the comments and we will get to it. So I don't see cards for sale Let's try one last time. Store. Sometimes it's the difference between your username and your store name, so it could be harder to look up. So you might want to verify that. Quality Treasures 888. Let's just do a quick audit of this store. Yep, that's my store. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just kind of wondering why you're choosing to do the photo of the collar for some of your pictures. I know some people do that. That's great. How's that working for you? I usually try to do the whole picture, the big picture of what people are getting, and usually reserve this kind of photo for like the second or the third photo. So just wondering why you chose to do that. But yeah, trying to give the big picture of the entire store would be the best. So just picking out an item from your store, in just going back, and then I know you guys are probably going to get sick of hearing this, but the titles are so important. It is the key to your success on eBay. It is so important that even a misspelled brand or word within your title can be the difference between your item selling and not selling, being found and not found. So Donald Ross, men's polo, large, blue, pink, golf shirt, casual, short sleeve. So you put the second most important keyword to the whole title structure as like the seventh or eighth word in or like it's kind of just out of order. Like great keywords, like good stuff. I like that. But it's going to be Donald Ross shirt, men's. And then after men's, you're going to put the size. And then you could put polo. So sometimes people ask, like, well, but it is a polo, right? But yes, it is. But think of this. Are more people typing in Donald Ross shirt or Donald Ross polo? So going back to that basics, going back to that basic foundation understanding of what is the buyer searching. So for me, it's the common buyer is typing in very plain Jane, very common wording. Donald Ross shirt, men's, large, polo, and then followed with your keywords. That's going to really help get your item in front of the more people that are typing in Donald Ross shirt. So pre-owned and very good condition. I think your photos look really good, really well lit. You're taking multiple angles. You have the collar to the bottom hem. You have the pit to pit. You have even the missing the button, the extra button. I mean, that's great. And I love that you guys are taking photos of the last photo of your listing is your SKU number. That's just another way, another fail-safe. I don't know how you're storing your inventory, but at least taking a photo of your SKU number as the last picture, it's really going to help you avoid losing any items. We don't want to be losing items. We don't want to be canceling for out of stock. So it's very good that you're doing that, going above and beyond. But yeah, I would just really work on title structure. Let's take a look at kind of the whole of your store. So right here, Peter Millar shirt, men's size large. That's great. I don't include the word size. So where I would include the word size is like for shoes, because you want to differentiate the size of the shoe from like the model number or product number, which can be commonly used in a title for shoes. So for clothing, I'm leaving that word out and I'm putting in a different keyword. Like that's 4 keyword characters that you could be using on other things. So I don't put size. Polo Ralph Lauren sweater, men's XL, 2XL, very good. Great job. Wool soft mock neck zip pony. Very cool. I'd probably put quarter zip in there, but that's okay. You put zip nonetheless. Southern tied shirt, men's medium. These title structures are looking a lot better. Maybe I just picked out an older listing of yours, but FootJoy sweater, FootJoy FJ polo shirt. So like for example, this one here, like FootJoy shirt, and then you can put FJ Polo after the size type. I know that's kind of like people are like, oh, but I want to type in polo because that's what it is. It's like, yes, it is a polo, but also you're putting it in the polo category, hopefully, and it's commonly a shirt. Like, it's a shirt. That's what if someone asks, what is that person wearing? Is that a FootJoy? They're like, they're wearing a shirt. And less likely they're going to say they're wearing a polo. So just think of that. I know it's very boring, very plain, but that's what it's going to be most commonly referred to. So FootJoy shirt, and then you could just put FJ Polo towards the end or after the size. And then maybe playing around with some of your photos where you did take the photo of the big picture of the entire shirt. I know some people do this style. I don't know how successful it is, but as far as like title structure, that's the main topic of today. Go into your bulk editor, start working on a few titles a day, and you'll be surprised on how many of those simple fixes can be the difference. So you have 432 items. Let's see how much you're selling on a last few days. So a really good sell-through rate, a really amazing sell-through rate for this store would be 4 items a day. So today you already sold 1. Yesterday you had 1. On the 27th you had 2. 25th you had 2. On the 24th you had 3. 1 on the 22nd. 3 on the 21st. Oh, wow, you had a good day on the 21st. So let's say you're averaging 2 sales a day, 3 sales a day. I think just as you continue to scale your store with the items that you already have and being more consistent, I don't know what your listing goal looks like. I don't know how long you've been consistently listing. Those 2 factors right there are really going to determine how many impressions you're getting. How is eBay pushing your items? eBay knows the difference between if you've been listing consistently for 1 month and if you've been listing consistently for 5 years. So don't call it quits too early because it is a long game when it comes to eBay. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long game. So stay consistent with what you're doing. I noticed your pricing might be a little on the higher side for some of these items. Like this FootJoy sweater, I would be listing $17 to $24.95. A FootJoy polo would be between $17.95 and $21.95. I think your shipping price looks great with the increases in first class. That's all right. $6.99. I would charge $5.95, but that's okay. Lucky Brand jeans, I think that's a great price for those jeans. These Van Heusen pants, I couldn't even probably sell those for $5. So Van Heusen, I would adjust that. Talbot's top. So this is a good example, and this was brought up in the Patreon that we do Monday through Friday, the conversation between tops and shirt. It's the same thing. So you have Talbot's top, and it is a Talbot's top, but it's most commonly a shirt. So you could put Talbot's shirt, women's small, and then you could put top right there. So you're already listing it into the women's category of tops, right? So you don't need to put Talbot's top. Just go back to the buyer. Just think, what if I'm wearing a Talbot's shirt and you go up to a bunch of people and say, what am I wearing? Are they going to say, you're wearing a top? Or are they going to say, you're wearing a shirt? I know, pretty dumb example, right? But just think of it that way. And those are the people that are typing in, I want a Talbot shirt. Less people typing in Talbot's top. So those 2 keywords right there can be detrimental for conversion. Same with this Chico's Traveler's cardigan. So if it's a cardigan, like a sweater, which you're posting it in the sweaters category, I would just put Chico's sweater, women's size 3, and then you could put Traveler's cardigan after the size. Those are my strategies. That's what I do. Easy wear Chico's top. So it'd be Chico's shirt, women's 2, and then you would put easy wear top. I hope that was helpful for you. You can reach out and follow up if you have questions. So that's your store. Okay. Elite Supply Bunker says, thank you for the review. I was wondering about my shipping. I will be making those changes, E-Rock. Well, I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you guys listening. You know, the whole reason and purpose for this channel is to be able to go back in and master the basics. Doing these basics are going to take you the long way on eBay. So that's why we focus on basic things here, because we're not trying to do anything fancy. We're not trying to outsmart the algorithm. We're just trying to master title structure and pricing. And this is why I do these YouTube videos, is to really help you, those starters, or maybe those people that have a store and they're wondering why they don't have sales. Going back to the basics and fixing those things are going to set you up for success as you continue to grow your store. Everyone's trying to grow a store eventually to build a business, right? So as you get more items and you correct those two key principles first, you're going to really set yourself up for success, because no one wants to go back into their store with 20,000 items and go, oh my God, I did everything wrong. Could you imagine the nightmare? Go look at ThreadUp. Go on eBay and type in ThreadUp and look at all of the mess that they have. 11 million items, and the titles are everywhere. 2 photos, 3 photos. Some of the photos are of different items within the listing, and it's just a mess. And you'd think with 11 million items, their conversion would be good, but it's terrible. Probably the worst performing store on eBay. So that can be a good example for you to go look at and go how not to do eBay. Look at ThreadUp eBay store. Robert says, you are amazing. Everything you explain makes perfect sense. I've been working on your information. Is an eBay store different than just listing, and is it needed? So this question is asked a good bit, and you can sell items on eBay without an eBay store. You can do it somewhat successfully. But if you're trying to build a business and maybe you're working a full-time job and you want to do eBay part-time, I highly suggest just investing that $5 a month for the basic store so you can gain access to all of the features that eBay has to offer. And these are somewhat new features within the last 2 years. The performance tab, the listing quality report. You know, all these things can really help you. What gets measured gets improved. And how we measure things is through analytics, is through data. And by having a store, you're able to look at the data. You're being able to see how many impressions am I getting? What is my sales conversion rate? You're able to do the marketing tab, which is key. Being able to run coupons, being able to run markdown sales, being able to send bulk group coupons to previous buyers. You know, all these tools are going to be huge for your store success. So you can sell on eBay without that store, but I would highly suggest just investing that $5 a month, and you're able to just open your store up to so much more. You'll be able to track a lot of those analytics to see how you're doing, because eBay is a lot of work, and we want to know if the work that we're doing is getting recognized by eBay. eBay, are you doing your job? Are you holding up the end of the bargain of me listing 30 items a day? Are you giving me those impressions according to what I'm listing? So I would suggest, if you don't have a store, think about getting a basic store for $5 a month. Miriam says, yes, that's my store. I'm glad. I hope that was helpful for you. Let me know if you have questions. Jake says, I am a new seller. I have 300 items. J Tims 618. Okay. Let's get to it. It doesn't work all the time, but J Tims. If you guys are getting value, it really goes a long way to just smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, this is something that we're going to be doing on a weekly basis, being able to go live for about an hour to really answer any of your questions and look at your store and seeing what we can do to make those small adjustments to improve sales. That's the key, and that is the goal for this live. So, okay. Sometimes There we go. I think we got it. J. Timms, let me know, is this your eBay? We'll just go on faith and we'll just go on faith that this is your store. JTim615, you have sold 182 items, 100% feedback, and you have about 300. So yeah, I'm thinking this is you. Let's just look at kind of how your sales have been. So you had one sale yesterday, 2, 3 on the 27th. Okay. So with this small of a store, a really, like I said, just going back to that 1% rule, that 1% daily sell-through rate. So you have 300 items, and it doesn't really look like you have a store. It looks like you're just listing out of your profile, which is totally fine. You may want to consider signing up for a store so you can track some of that data. I don't really know, just from the looks of what you've been listing, are you trying to niche down? Are you trying to just do a little bit of everything? I think everyone at first starts off as an everything seller, so it's good to look around your house and being like, I could sell this, I could sell this, you know, getting those things that are kind of cluttering your home and being like, I haven't used this VCR since the 80s. Well, sell it. So being able to sell a lot of those things around your store is so key to start, because you can use all of that money that was just sitting around in your closet and use it to now go buy stuff that you actually want to list and sell. So maybe that's something you're still doing, but mostly looks like you've been listing clothes, CDs. I think your pricing looks pretty decent. You have free returns. That's another good indicator. Your top rated plus. That's really good. Now going back to title structure. Oh boy, Bo's doing it again. Well, this is it. And this can be easy for you. Going into your bulk editor on eBay and just picking out your oldest items, sorting oldest to newest, and fix like 5 titles a day. And it's very simple, because once you get the structure right, it's really easy to go brand, item, gender, size, and you just do that all on all your listings. So right here we have a Brooks Brothers shirt. So Brooks Brothers shirt, and you don't have the gender in this too. So the good news is like fixing titles can be one of the easiest ways to just go in and start giving your store new life. So going into this Brooks Brothers listing, you have good keywords, but I would just go Brooks Brothers shirt, men's, large. And you put SZ. I never do that, and I never put size. And I never just put L. Maybe you could put large and then L after it, but I would spell out the entire size. So Brooks Brothers shirt, men's, large. And I never use any characters like apostrophe or commas or pluses, dashes. Those just don't get recognized. So I would just do Brooks Brothers shirt, men's, large, polo, Coca-Cola, Sonic Americas, drive-in. Like no pluses, no apostrophes, no commas, nothing, because it's just a waste of a character. So just going in, reworking this title, I think your photos look nice and clear. They look great. Even a cool background, leopard print or cheetah print. That's awesome. So picture of the tag, a little blurry there, but I could kind of still make out what the contents are. Okay, so a better one there. And taking photos of like key accents of the garment, like the embroidery, buttons, any little things. I do like the fact that you have a lot of photos in your listing. I really believe, you know, you don't want to be taking 24 photos of random things about your shirt, right? But you do want to have a good chunk of photos, 8 to 10 to 12, at least getting those measurements in there, any accents of like the embroidery. Those are going to be really helpful for the buyer. So very good job with your photos. Now I would just go in, fix some of your titles. Jordan, 100% linen women's button-up top. Okay, so this is a women's top, right? But it's really a button-up. So I would go ahead and call this. It is a women's. So it is a Jordan shirt, women's, large, and then you could put all the things you want after it. I don't know what vintage C means, but if it is vintage, you could just put that towards the end of the title like you have here. But yeah, and it's a women's top, and then you would go ahead and select style as button up. So let's see if you did that there. Yep, type is button up. So very good. Your description looks good. What I would just really focus on in your descriptions is just your policies. Are you doing free shipping, free returns? Are you storing your items in a pet and smoke-free environment? Are you reaffirming to the buyer, please see photos for exact measurements, as tag size may differ from measured size? All those little things that you'd want to put in there to really help convey to the buyer, hey, this is what it is. Don't make your items seem better than they are. It's better to downplay your item than to create this imaginary item that it's better than it is. I mean, if you're selling used clothes, it's used clothing, so you're gonna want to just be fully transparent with that. But yeah, the good thing for you is just go in, fix some titles, and I think that's going to be really helpful for you. And look into upgrading to a store so you can kind of see, where is my store going and what is eBay doing? Then you'll be able to offer things like coupons, markdown sales, and whatnot, and see some of your analytics. But and I don't know what your listing goal looks like and all that. All those are key contributors to your success on eBay. So I hope that was helpful for you. One busy mama. Hi, Bo. I'm going back and correcting my titles per your suggestion. Also, I am simplifying the descriptions. I used to write a novel thinking that was better, but simple is better. Thank you. Yes. So I guess just for example, I'll just pull up my description here in my store, and we can get a good idea on what the heck is Bo doing. So I'll just bring one up, and you guys can copy this. I don't care. Copy it, but preferably maybe change a few words to kind of make it your own. So I'll bring it up right here. Okay, so here's one of my listings. Ralph Lauren shirt, men's large, regular fit, button-up, collared, cotton, pony blue. Okay, so this is the description. When a buyer sees this, more than 50% of buyers on eBay are shopping on their phone. So you want to really keep it minimal when the buyer is looking at your listings. So I just have, if the clothing is used, it is clean and expected per eBay guidelines. So if you go look at the eBay standards and guidelines for selling clothing, it basically just says it needs to be in a clean and good condition. Clean. And there's really it's a broad description on what eBay says, but I just thought putting that in there will be helpful to protect you from any type of false item not as described. You want to be able to just put the legalese on what eBay is suggesting for you to do. So in red here, I put, please note, item measurements are approximate and may differ from tag size. Previous washings may change the sizing. Please compare the measurements in photos to ensure proper fit. Clothing is stored in a pet and smoke-free environment. We offer a combined shipping discount for multiple orders, and then 60-day free returns. Turn the heater off. And same-day shipping. So nothing like, I think bullet points really help make it easier to read for the buyer. Going to your condition description, some people list from the phone, so you're not going to be able to have access to filling out a condition description. By default, it's just going to say pre-owned. I suggest anyone that's trying to do this for the long run, trying to build a six-figure business, to start, you don't have to do it today, but start to try to list from your computer, a laptop, a desktop, so you have those tools so you can make those notes. This is my default description for items that are just in good condition, like no defects, no holes. It just says used condition with light signs of wear, no holes, please see photos for exact measurements. So I say, please see photos for exact measurements as size may differ from tag 3 times in my listing. I do this because I want to make sure that the buyer is at least looking at the photos to ensure proper fit. But within clothing, you're always going to get returns for does not fit. And that's okay. That's just part of the business. So that's good that you're going through. Make it simple, make it simplified, easy to read. Miriam says, last year I had a 1,400 item store, but my store went from top rated to below standard. On January, I ended all my listings, did inventory check, and started all over again. I'm currently above standard. Yeah, very good. Just sometimes you do have to do things like that and just kill your store, start from zero, because when you start building up a store with thousands of items, it can be really overwhelming to go back and fix all those little things. Sometimes it's better just to go, you know what? I'm killing off all these items and I'm going to go ahead and just start over. So, depending on how much you're selling in a quarter, I believe it's 400 items within a quarter, will get you get your account reviewed more often, so they're able to update you to top rated plus. But if you only sell, I believe it is less than 400 or 200 items within a rolling 3-month period, you're going to be judged on a yearly scale. So the more that you sell on eBay, the more of a better chance you have your store to go from above standard to top rated and then eventually top rated plus. But it has a lot to do with how much you're selling within a certain time frame. So I'm happy that you did that. That probably wasn't an easy decision because 1,400 items, you have to consider that takes a lot of time to build up that store. Shaquana, hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. She's a Patreon in the group, and she's crushing it. She goes, I'm doing the same, going back and correcting items in my store. Thanks for the great information, Bo. You're welcome. Thank you for coming in. Miriam says, I'm retaking photos and revising titles. I just set up my store policies. And I'm currently offering 30-day free returns. I called eBay, and they told me I needed to sell at least 100 items per month. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so once you can get there, and a lot of people, I mean, not a lot, but people that really want that top-rated status and that top-rated plus status, they will sell things sometimes for a loss just to be able to get items sold and to be able to get that top-rated or that top-rated plus status. I believe very much, and eBay's not going to go out and say this, but that is eBay going to be pushing the listings of a below standard seller more than a person that is a top rated seller? Do you think that? For me, I don't think that, because it's eBay's namesake. It's eBay's name on the line. They want to be having as many top rated sellers as possible so they can push those items first. So if you're below standard or you're maybe above standard, working towards that goal of getting top rated or top rated plus is going to be really a result of having correct title structure, a result of delivering on the promises of your item and accurately describing your items and pricing your items correctly so they do sell. So top rated is just a result of having of applying basic principles, title, pricing, and being transparent about your items. So, you're not going to see a huge blow up in impressions or anything like you're going to just retire early. But, it doesn't take a lot to be top rated seller, but it really is just a result of fixing those key things. And just keep in mind, eBay is going to want to probably push those top-rated sellers and top-rated plus sellers above those listings that might be below standard. Deidre, hopefully I'm saying that right. DD Girly Finds and Media. Okay, let me punch that in. Okay. Just typing in how you put it in. Let's see what pops up. Okay. Yeah, if you guys want an eBay store review, drop it in the comments section down below, and we will get to it. DD Girly Finds and Media. Okay. I'm thinking this is it. Well, is this it? Deidre, let me know. Is this your store? Because that's what happened when I typed it into Google. So, store. That's what popped up. Hopefully that's your store. Page DDS Girl. So we'll just go on faith and hope that this is your store. So you have 326 items. You've sold 3.7. No, I will retype it. Okay. So whoever this is, you're getting a store review. I started off selling books, and kind of the same principle applies, back to clothing. Is like you want to go with the title of the book, the author, followed with the keywords. So like kind of like similar how you would do clothing. You want to start with the brand, the item, the gender, the size. So you want to start with what is the common buyer typing in first to find my item. Very basic, very, very simple, but you'd be surprised. So just like for a 326 item store that sells media, remember a rockin' store is going to be selling 3 a day. And this person hadn't sold anything for almost 10 days. So 1 item on the 20th, 2 on the 19th, 1 on the 15th, 1 on the 9th, 1 on the 4th. And that's just, really makes the difference between, are you listing every day? What does your daily listing habit look like? And those are if you don't have that listing habit, that's what your sales are going to look like. You're going to get a sale every now and then, or maybe you're listing when you feel like it. Well, then eBay is going to give you sales when they feel like it. So eBay makes money when you list items. So yeah, Deidre, if you can type that in, and then maybe I can search for it. Miriam says 100 items a month for 3 months to reach top rated again. Cool. Well, yeah, keep going. It's really just that consistency mixed with your vision. The ups and downs of reselling is huge. Some days you get sales, some days you don't, especially when you're just starting out. But really being committed to your processes and doing it repetitively over and over again, you're going to get faster, you're going to get better, and you're going to be able to see, wow, you can go in and look at your analytics. Hey, all the work that I'm putting in, eBay is now starting to trust me. eBay has that trust relationship with their sellers. Like, if you have 20,000 of the best items and you just started on eBay and you just started listing them, they're not all going to sell right away, because eBay wants to know, how does Bo handle shipping 5 items a day? How does Bo handle shipping 10 items a day? That's why it is just a slow process, because they're wanting to see how you handle the business that they're giving you. And it takes time to get the trust from the eBay robots and the eBay algorithm to really trust you. But that does make sense, right? Like, why would they trust? Like, if I listed 20 Patagonia puffer jackets, 20,000 of them, and I just started listing on eBay the first day, and I listed them all, eBay's not going to trust me to ship out all of those items. And if I listed them all for $1, they're only going to give me a certain amount of sales before they cut me off. So it's just a low and slow process before they can gain that process of, like, once you can master shipping 10 a day out, then they're going to say, well, how can they ship 11 a day out, 12 a day, and so forth. It's just a slow grind upward. Miriam says, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. Emporium Jim. I'll just call you Jim. Jim. So you have your store. You don't sell clothes. So if you'd rather not look at my store, no problem. Currently featuring vintage postcards, dinnerware, kitchenware, and some miscellaneous. No, we'll take a look. Now, anybody, it doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't have to be clothing. It doesn't have to be, um, it doesn't matter. So, and actually, I wanted to bring this up, and I hope that it can be helpful to you. Hopefully, you guys can see this. I'll bring it up. So you can snap a picture of this, whatever you'd like. This is straight from eBay. This is just examples of effective title structures. And this doesn't just include clothing, it includes consumable products, hard goods, electronics, seasonal items, and books and media. So being able to structure these titles around what eBay's suggesting to do, that's going to get you off on the right foot right there. So we'll have that with us as we look through your store, Jim, and I will type that into search and we'll see what we find, because it doesn't always work. So let's see. Emporium, etc. I'm spelling it right. ETCE. All right. We will look. Sometimes just searching in Google works better than the Google search. So Emporium, etc. Got it here. Hopefully this is the right store. So you've sold 2,500 items. You have 1,100 listed. Let's just take a look at a few of your pictures. So front and the back. Yeah, I mean, you're taking pictures of postcards, so it's like how many photos can you take? I like that your titles are filled out. Looks like using the most keywords that you can. And that's going to be key for you to sell some of these miscellaneous items. You want as many keywords pointing to that item as possible. So you have 1,100 items. I think your photos look great, bright, they stand out. You're not editing them. It's like, this is what you're getting. This is how it looks. Take it or leave it. So 1,100 items. I don't know what your listing goal looks like. I don't know how long you've been listing consistently. If you want to drop that in the chat. But it looks like you haven't had a sale for about 8 days. You had one on the 21st, on the 20th, a couple on the 20th, a couple on the 18th. So it seems like it's been every other. That's going to be really key to what is your listing habit look like. Are you listing every day? Are you listing every other day? Kind of how does that? So you had a few new listings go up today. Let's see. You had 10. So, and then you had none yesterday. And on the 27th. So yeah, it seems like you missed a few days in between there. The more consistent that you can be on listing, every day. And if you feel like you want to hit 10 a day and you want to list 10 a day, but you have a hard time hitting that goal, it's better to drop that 10 a day down to 5 a day and really hit those 5 a day than to do 10 a day and then maybe you miss a day every now and then, because that's going to really screw up the analytics, the impressions you're getting. eBay's going to wonder about you, like what is going on. It is if you do the 10 a day and you go down to 5 a day, but you feel like doing more, just draft bank the rest. If you want to do the 10 a day, but you list the 5 go live, then take the other 5 and put them in your draft bank for days that you get sick or something comes up. Then you have reserves in your draft to be able to list. So that can be key. So you're selling maybe 1 or 2 items a day. With media, I think that's going to be decent. And then also, too, doing things like having a daily coupon, having a markdown sale. I don't see anything like that in your store. No sales. You have a 20% off when you buy more. That's like a volume discount. So doing those 2 things can be helpful for you. Doing things like your coupon. doing a daily coupon. Every morning when I wake up, the coupon is done within 10 seconds and it expires the next day at 6 a.m. So then I go in and do a new coupon. I do a daily coupon because you'll notice after you have a coupon in your store, say you have it for a month, right? After about the first week or two, less and less people are using that coupon, and you'll see it in your analytics by looking at your coupon. You'll see, oh, less sales converting with this coupon. So I do it on a daily basis, as well as watchers of your items get that notification in your eBay through their email that this coupon is expiring soon. Act now, act fast. So also that's a good way to strategize into doing a daily coupon. It shouldn't take you more than 30 seconds to put in a daily coupon. And also any items that are older than 90 days in your store, start implementing some type of markdown sale, some type of 10, 20, 30% off, and start getting these items moving and grooving out of your store. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything like that. I'm just trying to help you to get more sales, and so those are some of the things that can help you. I think your pricing looks fine. You're probably shipping most of these media mail, or even with the standard envelope, which can be even cheaper. So you do free shipping, yeah. So, but those are the things you can start applying in your store. Comment down below what your listing habit looks like, and maybe we can get that straightened out. Deidre says she'll type it in. So DD Gurley finds and me. Okay, I was typing it wrong. Let's type it in right. DD. There we go. So I'm guessing this is it. I love the banner, and I love the branding. It doesn't go a long way to do that. A lot of people are successful without that, but having some type of branding can really help when buyers come to your store. They go, oh, this person looks professional. There's a professional look to it. There's a feel and a vibe they're getting. I think having something is better than nothing. You could go on Canva for free and create something for yourself to have some type of logo or branding. It can be something simple too. Don't go spending hours on it. But it just really sets you up for looking like a business. It's like having a storefront and you have no logo, no name. It's just a building. So have something there, better than nothing. I hope this is your store. Yeah. So you said it was. So you sold 150 items. You looks like you just got things going. You have about 30 items. Seems like you're selling, just as your title suggests, a little bit of everything. Media is just one of the biggest categories on eBay, on Amazon. Media is where a lot of the money is going, and now it's just about sourcing the correct type of media. Right off the bat, it does look like the prices for the DVDs might be a little high. They are new. I get that, but unless if they're rare, or how are you typing in your brand or your research for comps? Let's just take, for example, the Incredible Hulk on DVD, and let's just look what's going on with the Incredible Hulk. DVD new. And there's 536 listed. 134 sold. And if we search highest to lowest, and we look at your listing, so it's a television series Ultimate Collection. How are you looking up your comps? How are you getting your pricing? This is going to be key for you to figure out what things are selling for. I think for this, $35 might be on the high side. I know you just got going on eBay, but really figuring out your pricing is going to be so key. when you're a new reseller, you don't want to be buying things without looking up price. And sold price is different than listed price. So you're going to want to look up the items that you want to buy, go into the solds on your phone before you buy it, and figure out and sort highest to lowest and go kind of towards the middle of the market and see what the average price these items are going for. The worst thing can be pricing your items without doing any research and just kind of putting a number up there. And that's a good way to, once your store grows, that's a good way to really suppress a lot of your listings, because there's a market demand for everything and we need to fall within that demand. So that's the first thing I would do is like, how are you pricing your items? How are you looking up prices? The DVDs just seemed a little high for me. You got a few other things. Juicy Couture bag. You have Uggs fluffy slip-on slippers. That might seem a little high for me. $70. I mean, it is Uggs, but you got a Texas Instruments TI-84 calculator, $80. That seems about average. Some pillows. And everyone's different. Everyone's business is different, because you may be paying $10 for these DVDs. I don't know. So it's really important to figure out your kind of lowest of the lowest. What is the lowest margin that you want to make? So you sold Room on a Broom. On the Broom, it's a good show. So $12.99 plus shipping. You sold that on the 25th, 4 days ago. I mean, since you only have 30 items in your store, if you can sell a one item a day, a one item every 2 days, that's going to be really a good sign for your store. But really looking up your pricing, what is this going for? How is this going to sell if I'm not pricing it within the market demand? You're going to want to be able to figure out what price is this going for so I can accurately price it. That's going to help with your conversion rate. It just seems like you just got started, so I know this is kind of a lot to start putting in, but your title structure looks decent. It's a Nintendo GameCube game. Meet the Robinsons 2007, tested and working, complete inbox. So going back to kind of this, you can screenshot this. Take a look at this. This is going to be huge. This is how you're going to title your items. So it seemed like you're listing a bunch of hard goods, DVDs, miscellaneous things. So see, hard goods, it says brand, product, plus attributes, which are the size, weight, and quantity. And then it seems like your books and media, title, type, format. So the format would be hardcover, ebook, and then the author last. So getting that down for your media is going to be huge, because what I teach in the Patreon is selling similar off of your items. You want to be able to sell similar off of your own items in your store, so you can copy and paste those same keywords, that same shipping policy, those same templates that you have in your product description, and being able to speed up the process that way. So doing your titles correctly first is going to help you as you grow your store to be able to sell similar off of your own items and to be able to just get things right from the start. So hopefully that was helpful for you. Keep on going. It seemed like you were still early on in your venture. One busy mama says, question, don't you have to rate your condition in the condition description, such as fair, good, very good? Yeah, for media and DVDs and such. So yeah, you're going to want to do that. It's in your listing, you're going to see for media, it's going to say, like, what is the condition? So it's going to have brand new. It's going to have excellent. It's going to have very good. It's going to have good. And it's going to have poor. So don't make your item seem like it's better than it is. If you're selling used items, judge it accurately, because you don't want to be saying it's excellent condition and the media has all scratched, it's missing the booklet, or the case is cracked. That's just an easy way to get returns. So just being as authentic as possible. But yeah, you're going to want to rate all the media, the condition. What is it? Imperium, etc. Photos all done with a duplex scanner. Very nice. That nice. So no holding of the camera, no holding, no needing to worry about exposure and everything. You just have a scanner ready to go. I'm sure that helps you speed up that process as well. It probably just scans right into your desktop, laptop, and you can just get the photos right onto eBay. Deidre says yes. Jim says, trying to do 10 to 20 cards a day, but I have skipped some days. Also trying to end and sell similar, the older listings on dinnerware. Thanks for your input. You're welcome, Jim. Yeah, I mean, people do have success ending and selling similar. eBay can read the metadata of your photos. They can tell when a listing has been ended and you sold similar off of that. So if you're not taking new photos or changing the listing in any way, eBay is going to know that this was a previous listing that just got ended and relisted. So, but people do have success with it. I just don't see it as like it counting as a new listing on eBay. But do with what works for you. And, maybe implementing some markdown sale can help bring those older items new life. Marking them down 20, 30% for items that are older than 90 to 120 days. Miriam says, do you recommend to promote listings with above standard level store? Yeah, absolutely. Really comes down to what you're selling. I promote all my listings at 10%. Everything. It doesn't matter if it's North Face. It doesn't matter if it's a Gap pair of jeans. Right now in the kind of environment that eBay's in, they really want to see sell. They want to make money, and they make money by pushing the promoted listings. So if you are in saturated categories, and unless you're selling gold bars, gold coins, discontinued Arc'teryx jackets, you want to possibly try promoting, because you want to be able to stand out. You want to be able to get ahead of the competition. And if you're not promoting your listings, then you really need to have a rock solid listing, and you need to be able to selling in categories that are not saturated. And I'll tell you this right now, that every category on eBay, I believe there's like 30 different categories, they're all saturated. So to stick out and get ahead, you're going to want to promote your listings. And I see it as like, how do businesses make sales? They market their products. Well, how do they market their products? They advertise. So your promotions on your listing are your form of advertisement. So it's really hard to sell items in general without promoting them in any way, right? So you can start with what works for you, with what's within your margin. You can start out at the suggested rate, or you can start out at, I think the minimum is 2%. Experiment with that, do with what works for you, but you will see an increase in impressions, which will cause a conversion increase. You will see more conversion on your items if you do start promoting. I would recommend it. And especially if you're above standard, below standard, you're not able to do anything like that. But if you're above standard, top rated, and so forth, you're going to want to promote. Deidre says, thank you for the store review. Really helpful, and we'll take the advice. You are welcome. I want to get into some comments that came in over the channel just the last few days. Florida Mom had asked, am I picking up from churches for donation or free? So the bulk of my inventory comes from either bales from a thrift store, or from sourcers, or from churches, or from local pickups, or from Goodwill outlet. There is so many ways that I source inventory, but the main part is being able to use all of these in combination together. I have to get 1,500 items every month to list on eBay. So it means I need to sort through thousands of items to find the brands that I want to list. So doing the church thing, reaching out to churches, most churches do something called like a clothing closet. And if you're looking to resell clothing, a great strategy for you is to start picking up your phone and start calling these churches and going, hey, what are you doing with your extra clothing donations? What are you doing with the items that are not selling during your church sale? most likely they're going to be taking these donations to a thrift store. So maybe you can jump in between that connection and go, hey, I'll come and pick them up for free, and we'll save you a trip from having to drive all these bags around in your car to drop them off. So that was a strategy for me, and maybe it can be helpful for you because churches do receive a lot of free items, and sometimes more items than they even know what to do with. So you can get in between that and maybe find what works for you. And it doesn't just have to be clothing, because churches run all types of sales of hard goods and whatever's donated to that church. So reach out. Don't be afraid of your phone, and don't be afraid of calling businesses, calling thrift stores. Don't call the Goodwills, don't call the St. Vincent's, call the mom and pop thrift stores, because you don't know what they're doing with their items. If they're getting tons of items and their store is only so big, well, what are they doing with the excess? Call them. Even if you did 1 or 2 calls a day, by the end of the month, you're going to have so many connections with sources for you to get inventory that other people aren't doing. Most people aren't calling thrift stores. Most people want to do what is easy, right? Picking up the phone and calling people is more friction. There's more resistance between that process and me just driving to the Goodwill outlet and picking what I want. I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I want to do what other people thinking outside the box are doing. Those ways are going to really help you go further, faster in your eBay journey, and less following the crowd, and really hook you up with a source, because it's really the source. The quality of your sourcing life is going to be the reflection of your reselling life. So if you can get better at your sourcing, your reselling will actually get better. They'll grow together. So if you have a bad sourcing life and you just go out once a month, your reselling life might struggle because you're not able to find those quality items. Bill says, do you have health insurance, and how much do you pay? Yes. I believe it's like $450 a month for all of us. So I have a family, so it's, not just me. But, having insurance in all aspects, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, health insurance, and insurance for your business. These are all going to be key. We went through a fire 3 years ago, and I'm never going to ever live again without having some type of renter's insurance, some type of business insurance. So anytime I can have comfort knowing that, hey, if things come again and there's another fire and all of this inventory gets burnt down, you can at least get the value of what you paid for it. They're not going to give you the value that's in your eBay store, but you're at least able to get the money out back from what you spent to go out and at least buy more items. But yeah, health insurance, life insurance, those are going to be nice to have. Okay, so another question from Florida Mom. It says, always looking to learn something new from your videos. What's my main source? Pallets. Questions about the warehouse. Are you renting or owning, and do I have assistance? Okay, so no, the source, I already kind of explained that. I have like 7, 8, 9 different ways to get inventory. The main way is just buying in bulk and being able to sort through thousands of items every month, pick out the 1,500 items, and being able to, the items that do not go into my store get discarded and lined up here in trash bags. I line up about 8 to 12 trash bags to get picked up by the company Just Porch It. They are a clothing recycling company that focuses on upcycling. So they're not taking these items that I'm discarding and throwing them to landfills. They're taking those items. They are a sort of rag house where they turn these items that I don't want to list into carpet insulation, into mechanic shop towels, into rags. So they're taking these items, upcycling them, keeping them out at landfills. And if you are doing clothing, look for something like that in your area, because it's everywhere. There's programs like this everywhere. You may need to drop them off, or they may offer some type of service where they pick them up. But if that's what you're going through, because Goodwill and some of the big main thrift stores, not everything is getting purchased at the Goodwill outlet, right? Not everything is being purchased from third world countries. Some of it does make it into the trash. So, do I have health insurance? Yes. So Bill says, Thinking of going full-time with my wife. I work full-time and I have insurance, but was wondering how bad it would be to get insurance outside the 9 to 5 job. It's not, I mean, it probably depends on your state too, because I have family members in California that pay an insane amount for health insurance. So I live in Oregon. It's I guess you could say the next California, because things are pretty expensive here. But it depends on your state, your region. How is the economy in your state? So that's all going to be dependent on that. But insurance, I mean, just as the word says, is like you want to insure things that have value. And there's never been a time where I'm like, oh man, I've been wasted $2,000 a year on insurance. Every time I've gotten insurance for anything, it's always paid off. So yeah, you're going to want to figure that out, budget it in, and really consider, hey, I need to figure out how I can insure my business, life insurance, health insurance, and so forth. So another question, let's see. So Stephanie had asked on the previous video, I am doing eBay out of a spare bedroom. What items would you suggest selling that don't take up a lot of room? So this could be everyone's situation when they're starting out. I don't think anyone ever should start out in space that, that's more than they need. Starting out in a closet, a spare bedroom as your storage is great, because you want to keep overhead low, and you want to maximize profits. So your spare bedroom, say you're using a 12 by 12 spare bedroom, you can sell clothing in a 12 by 12 spare bedroom. You can use something like the bin system, or you could use something like a sequential numerical system. I'll bring up these photos here to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So behind, you can see here. So this is a bin system. This is how I first started out. And when I first started out, I was just working out of a warehouse that was literally a 12 by 20 shed. And I used bins, and it worked great. But you're going to figure, after you get so many bins, you're going to be lifting up these bins, looking through the items, and doing all this digging. You're going to go, okay, there has to be an easier way, because as you get your eBay store bigger into the thousands items, 2,000 items, you're going to want to focus on switching into a system like this. And this system doesn't just have to be for clothing. You can use it for CDs, for books, for any types of items that are going to be fitting in this sequential system. So you can tell, a lot of magazine warehouses, book warehouses, it's going to be in a sequential numerical order. And this is a way you can do, if you do trading cards, if you do media, how are you storing those items, and how are you able to be able to pull those items when they get ordered? Are you having to look through all these items, or you can just go to a SKU number and pack and pull it effectively and efficiently? So switching to this system cut down the packing and pulling process at least by 50%. I don't lose items. So this is going to be that question of if you don't have a lot of space, I think bins are going to take up a little bit more space, and it's going to have a lot more headache of, sometimes when your item gets ordered and it's in the bottom bin, you're going to have to dig through that bottom bin. If you have something on racks like this, there's going to be no more moving things up and down. You're able to just go to the area where that order has come in and be able to pull that order according to what the SKU number is. So, you don't need a lot of space to start. If you're selling hard goods, that's an entirely different story. If you are selling hard goods, I think the way to get going there would be bins, a bin type system, and maybe just staying with that system. But you are going to need more space, more footprint to store those types of items, to be able to test those types of items. Right here, these two aisles hold about 5,000 items right here. And I have another row on this side that's holding another almost 2,000 items. So the cool thing about this rack, you can find these racks linked in the description below. And the best part is that they're stackable. They're 7 feet, but they can go up to 14 feet. And they hold up to 4,000 pounds. And I can usually hold between 500 to 600 items per rack. And this is clothing, t-shirts, jeans, button-ups, things like that. So keep that into consideration. But don't get a space. Don't get before you even get going on eBay, just use what you have so you can be able to at least generate some positive cash flow and not have too much overhead. Bill says she works the eBay store full time and I help her. 90-day total, just hit 25K. Awesome. Thanks, man, for answering the health insurance question. We live in Florida, by the way. Yeah, just look into it. If you're thinking about, trying to do eBay and get out of that 9 to 5, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to find that your eBay life is going to slowly outpace that 9 to 5. Because the more value that you do in your research and what is selling and niching down, you're going to find that, wow, I can make substantially more on eBay because I've became more valuable in my eBay career than what a 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 is only going to pay you what you're worth. Where if you get good at eBay, at brand knowledge, at niching down and really knowing your product, you're going to be able to command more money. So I think working together as a couple is not only are you supporting each other, but you're going to really go further faster because you have help. Maybe your wife does the listings and you do the sourcing or whatever. I think that's really going to help come together where you will find that, wow, an hour a day compounded over a year is so huge that just really don't focus on doing too much at once, but focus on doing little by little every day consistently is going to come in and take over for you. I mean, the compound effect is so real. It's scary real how just an hour a day of working on your dream and your vision for your life is going to really propel you in that direction. So you're either building someone else's dream or you're working on building your own dream. But I don't think anyone should ever just quit their job and go all in unless you have about a year or two of saved up expenses to cover rent, mortgage, and all of that. So, that's the cool part about eBay is as you continue to sell in your 25K 90-day total, maybe this time next year, it's double. So never, selling on eBay in 2.5 years, never year over year have I had lower sales. It's constantly grown. And you'll find that with eBay. Ray, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. I did a podcast with Ray and the reseller journey where he talks all about his media business, reselling media. He's doing a little bit of clothing. You could check that out. It's just really helpful because you get that perspective of what a media reseller does full time. He has some great videos on his channel going into like how he does his processes. He does a Sunday school kind of playlist where he just shows how to ship items, how to pack items, how to store items. I think if you're selling media, books, and a little bit of everything, go check out his channel and you can see how he structures things, how he does things. It's good to get insights from other resellers because we're all in different areas, we're all in different paths, but you can pick up tips along the way from other resellers that you can start implementing in your business. Good to see you, Ray. Miriam says, I switched to sequential system. The best decision ever. Yes. My back. I probably would be like way more pain in the neck. Nothing worse than a pain in the neck by doing more manual labor, by lifting these bins and digging through these items. There's no lifting involved when it comes to this type of inventory system. So you don't lose items like before. Yeah, that is true. I used to lose items a lot more in this bin system versus, sequential system. You can always go back and at least look at the date of when you listed those items to be able to narrow down, okay, it's either within this box or this box. You can eventually find that item versus digging. And you said that was the main reason why my store went below standard. Oh my, yeah. So this is a great hack. When you lose an item, any item, clothing, media, whatever, it is better to send the buyer something than cancel the item for being out of stock. So this is how they rank the defects on your account. It is a verified rights owner that will get you'll get a ding on your account for selling stuff that's either inauthentic. Maybe there's maybe the brand is enforcing the Vero policy for, not selling. You're not authorized to sell that brand, and there's brands that enforce it, and then there's brands that don't enforce it. So a Vero is going to be the first thing. The second worst defect you can get on your account is for canceling for out of stock option. This is going to drop your store below standard, and it doesn't take many cancellations to drop you down. So I believe, 2 or 3, 4 cancellations for out of stock option within a rolling 3-month period is going to take you from top rated to below standard, and you won't be able to have access to coupons or markdown sales or promoted listings. So don't cancel for out of stock option. Even though if you can't find something, try to send them something that is similar to the item that they ordered, and reach out with a message saying, oh my, I think I sent the wrong item. I don't know if I mixed up your order. And just be truthful and honest, saying, I couldn't find your item. Something's in the mail. And you will find 9 times out of 10, they're okay with it. They'll open a return. They maybe even file an item not as described. But an item not as described is far less worse than canceling for out of stock option. So please, whatever you do, do not cancel for being out of stock. Send something. And you can send that one thing. In the meantime, search for that item, and then send that item as well. So they get 2 items. Maybe they get a boots and a mug, who knows? But at least send something. I think canceling for out of stock option, eBay doesn't really tell you that up front, because some new resellers can be canceling for out of stock option and not know the implications of doing that. It is a bad one. It's not good. Remember, an item not as described is far less worse than canceling for out of stock. Deidre says, how would you put your business policies in your description? So I will show you. We'll go to a draft. And so if you go into a draft here, you're going to want to have a set of templates. So you're going to want a used clothing template, a new with tags clothing template, a new without tags clothing template, and the same applies for like media, books, hard goods. You're going to want like a new hard goods clothing, new hard goods template, a used hard goods template. And when you're going to your product description, you're going to want to where it says custom template. So let's just erase this, and see how I have clothes, new with tags, new without tags, and shoes. So if I was creating a new listing, this would be blank, and I would just go ahead and hit clothe and then insert, and that puts it right in. So if you're selling similar off of your own listings, this is automatically going to transfer over. This is automatically going to be already in your listing. And this is why I really stress the importance of selling similar off your own listings. So you don't have to go into your description every time and type in and hit the drop-down menu and hit close. It should already be there if you're selling similar off your own listings. But if you want to create a template, you would just go into create template. You would create the name on how you want to put there, and then you would write out what you want in your policy, and then you hit save, and then every time you would go into your custom template, you just click it and it automatically populates there, and you're good to go. And then continue to sell similar, and you should never have to do that again. Ray says, thanks for the shout out. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Oh yes, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Bill says, so you're reviewing eBay stores? Yeah, Bill, if you want to drop your store in, we can get to it. I'll try to get to it, and like I said, this will be a weekly thing. So if we don't get to it, it will just transfer to the next week, and we'll jump into it. Miriam says, yes, he's reviewing stores. I learned that the hard way. Yeah. Some of the greatest lessons in life are learned through things like that, and it's just let your test be part of your testimony. And, it's pretty surprising to me that eBay doesn't make any clear note of, hey, don't cancel for out of stock because you're going to get punished severely. You know, you put in all this work and all this time, and then when they really limit your account like that to below standard, it really can be crushing and hard. And I've seen a lot of sellers just jump on other platforms because it takes a lot more momentum to get back to where you were. But I just say keep on with your vision, keep on going, and you'll find out, wow. All right, so Ray says, with Good Game Grab, says, it's so deceiving how little they are upfront about it. That's almost burned me in the past for canceling. Yep. Yeah, eBay. Just add color. Can you please review my store, Hussies Online? Yes, we can. We will, and we can. I don't think this finding eBay store page has ever looked at. I've just been typing everyone's store into Google, and that's been working. So we'll see if this one comes through. So Hussies Online. Yep. We'll go to the other one. Sometimes it could be your username or your store name. So find eBay store. Did I hit it? Okay, I just go to eBay, Google. Let me know if this is your store. Looks like this would be. You have 150 items. You've sold 2.6 thousand. That's good. Lots of vintage tees. Looks like lots of vintage in general. That's good. What's your listing goal look like? What's your listing habit look like? Looks like you got eight or nine new listings today. I like that you have a volume price discount. You're top rated plus. That's great. Let's just see what you've been selling with the amount of items in your store. So you have 150 items. If you sell one a day, I think you're kicking butt. So you sold one, two today, two yesterday. Yeah, I mean, your sales are, for the size of your store, your sales are pretty good, with just 150 items. Now let's just look at some of your titles. Oh, great, I just closed your store. Sorry. We'll go back. So I know this is a very little thing, but I like to capitalize the first letter in each word. So I think something to do with the psychology of it. It's not really, it just looks more appealing to a buyer when it looks like that versus all lowercase. So maybe that's something you could start to do. You don't have to go back and fix them all. Maybe just work on 5 a day and just start, capitalizing the first letter of each word. So vintage Perry Ellis shirt, striped, colorful, rare, large. So title structure is the theme of today, and you got the first few words spot on, but it's missing a few things here. It's missing the gender, and the size is out of place. So vintage Perry Ellis shirt, men's large, striped, colorful. And instead of putting rare, I would put button up, collared in the material contents. So it's a linen blend shirt, rayon linen. So you could put those material contents in the title. And that's really going to go a long way. If you guys aren't filling out the titles to the most of your ability, try to get it to the best that you can, putting in things like the material type, putting things in that are going to help describe your item a little bit better so you can work on this title, and it'll be a big difference for you, for helping rank and search, helping buyers find this item. Another thing too would be putting some type of measurements in your photos. I think the photos look good. I think the lighting looks good. There is a shadow there, but that's pretty common with a lot of people that are just starting out. Getting some measurements in your clothing listings is going to not only cut down on returns, but then the buyer is going to be able to look at those measurements and to see if it fits or not. So maybe some buyers are clicking on this listing and they go, okay, I'm a pit to pit 21 inches, and they get all excited about your shirt and they don't see those measurements in your listing. Because a size large back then, that could be a size small today, and vice versa. So the sizes through generations have always fluctuated. So getting some measurements, especially for vintage clothing, Levi's that shrink down over the time of being washed, that's going to be really helpful. Just order a yardstick on Amazon or go to your local Home Depot. You don't need anything fancy. I use just a wooden yardstick, and just start implementing that. You're going to want to measure this shirt from the top of the collar to the bottom hem and from pit to pit. So it does take a few more steps. It looks like you're just hanging them. So you might have to pull that item down, have it on a table to do those measurements. But as far as like clarity, looks good. And then just working on your title structures. Some titles look good, but I would really go in and pick about 5 to 10 items a day. Go into your bulk editor on eBay and start rearranging. Like, the keywords are there, right? And I would never put emojis in the title. It doesn't do anything, and they're not even showing up for me. So, but they don't do anything. So, and it looks like there's some misspellings. So you'd want to go in and correct anything that was misspelled. But going back to title structure, so this is kind of what you want to base it around. You want your title structure to match what common buyers are typing in. So you have the first part here: vintage Perry Ellis shirt, men's, large, striped, colorful, rare. You can put button up, collared, linen, rayon blend, and so forth. So fixing some titles you're already getting good sales. You have great product. You are getting sales. But now how can you get more sales? You're going to want to fix some titles. So these vintage Levi's, it'd be vintage Levi's 501s, jeans, and then men's 4230, straight fit denim 1990s. Also, too, I don't know if you have if this is something you want to do, but having a daily coupon, having something where a buyer can see something at the top of your listing, you have the volume discount, but maybe putting something where you have an additional discount of a 20% off coupon, something that is a daily coupon, can be really helpful. And also markdown sales for any older items. But I think the quality of your items is pretty awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff in your store, and at great price. I think your price point is really good. And I know with vintage, it takes more time to look up the market for these individual items because they're rare. So that could be a thing that maybe is taking you a little bit more time. But just really focus on your titles, and you're already getting good sales, but by doing the title structure correctly, you can look at my eBay store and just say, okay, this is kind of how it goes. Now how can I implement that into my store? But otherwise, really good. Add some measurements to your photos and keep on growing. 150 items, you're still, how can we grow that? Getting that listing habit going. I don't know what your sourcing looks like, but continue to build up your store. More hooks in the water, you're going to catch more fish. But I say fix that title structure so you can set your stuff up for success. Bill says Freedom Finders. Freedom Finders. Okay, let's type that in. Freedom Fingers. All right, Freedom Finders, eBay store. We'll look for it. We'll find it. I think we found it. All right, let's check it out. So 1,600 items in your store. All right. 100% feedback. 2,500 items sold. Some vintage stuff. So Okay. So the first thing, and going back similar to the other store, your title structure just needs a little work. You have good keywords in there. This is an awesome shirt. Vintage Ralph Lauren shirt, men's large, and then you could put Blair, heavy denim, and I don't put this where it says W /. You just put pony. Like when something's with something, you just label it. You just put it on there. So that's kind of where I would start fixing your fixing that title structure. You want your first 4 or 5 keywords to be the same: brand, item, gender, size, followed with color, material contents, any accents. Maybe there's an embroidery. Maybe you have a women's top that has sequins. Maybe the sleeve type, domain sleeve, balloon sleeve, flared sleeve. All these things are going to be so huge to help you get more sales on eBay. But the quality of your items look good. Good brands. Dolce & Gabbana, Brioni. I mean, these are people that are people are fighting over the Goodwill bins for these types of items. So at least getting that title structure, like you have vintage duck head men's long sleeve chambray button shirt. So going back to this, if a common buyer is looking for the brand duck head and they're looking for a shirt, are they typing in duck head men's long sleeve chambray button shirt, or are they typing duck head shirt? And then they're able to narrow down, followed with their keywords that they're typing in. So we want to be able to get the most amount of buyers, the majority of buyers. That's the pool of buyers we're looking to get. We want to type in, structure our titles to capture that traffic source of the majority. We want to do what the majority are typing in. That's how we're going to want to type in our titles, because we want that traffic to come to our items. So less people are typing in duck head men's long sleeve chambray button shirt. I wouldn't be typing that in if I was looking for a duck head shirt. That's an example. Like this one, Peter Millar shirt, men's large. That's perfect. That's it right there. So take that Peter Millar shirt example and apply it to all of your listings. So like you have another Peter Millar shirt here, that should be the same. It's a Peter Millar shirt, men's 2XL. That's what it is. And it is a polo. I know, I understand. And it's hopefully listed in the polo category section. Polo can be reserved as a keyword, because the majority of Peter Millar enthusiasts are typing in Peter Millar shirt. So taking that structure of that Peter Millar shirt and applying it to all of your clothing items is going to make the big difference. So 1,600 items. Let's look at some of the sales. You're listing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, you're listing about 20 a day, 20, 25 a day. Did you list yesterday? Yes. Okay, it looks like you have a good listing habit established just from that brief overview. And then how many are you selling a day? You sold 2 so far today. You sold... Okay, let's just take, for example, 3, 6, 9... So you've sold 9 or 10 yesterday. With 1,600 items in your store, I think if you're around 8 to 10 items a day, that's a pretty good sell-through rate for used clothing. I just really think the biggest thing that sticks out is the titles. Some of your shipping might seem a bit high on some of these items. I don't know why it has $12.55. Maybe that's a flat rate you chose. But it's going to be hard for those people that are looking to buy the Ralph Lauren shirts or whatever shirts you have. $17.05 is more than the price of the shirt. So you could essentially raise the price of the shirt and charge a lower shipping price. So any items that are under 1 pound ship between $5.95 and $6.95 first class. And you will probably even make shipping on that, make money off the shipping. But if you're charging $17.05, the buyer on the other side is less likely to convert when the shipping price is that high. So go in and develop a strategy for your shipping price. Items that are above 1 pound will ship between $8.95 and $9.95, around there, and they should fit in a flat rate envelope. Versus any items that are under 1 pound, those are going to be $5.95 and $6.95. So the first few things that you could do in your store to start getting more sales, because you have great items, title structure and fixing the shipping price. Because that shipping price, like this vintage polo Ralph Lauren shirt you had, that's a great price, $6.65. That's decent. But then these weatherproof vintage jeans, they're $17.05 shipping. That's a lot, and you will see the majority of shipping prices for jeans, the people that are doing volume and doing a lot, selling 30, 40 items a day, their shipping prices are between $8 and $9. So you'd want to kind of mimic that and copy that kind of those parameters into your store. $17.05 is just going to be, maybe it's calculated shipping that you have turned on. I would definitely switch to some type of flat rate shipping to help you in your eBay store. Hopefully that was helpful. I hope you got value out of that. Just Add Color says, I post every single day, but have 0 views on most of my listings. Yeah, views aren't an indicator to whether an item sells or not. And with all the bugs and errors lately on eBay, I wouldn't trust any type of views on your items. It's just not, because it only takes 1 view for an item to sell. So I can be complaining and go, I have 0 views, but then when it gets 1 view, someone purchases it. So views aren't going to be the indicator on whether your item is good or not. So, and then with all the errors and bugs lately on eBay, very grain of salt. You don't need to be really focusing in on views for your items. And you said, yes, it is. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. Miriam says, how can we change the names of the username and store name to match? That's going to be under your account settings, under account preferences. You're going to want to, I can just show you real quick where it's at. So in the top left-hand corner of your eBay page, you're going to want to go to account settings. So it's going to be, yeah. If you just go on any eBay page, you're going to see your name up here. Hi, Bo. And you're going to want to go to account settings. And you're going to be able to do that under business info. And you'll be able to change your username to match your store name and vice versa. So you could do that there. And it might even take a day or two to transfer over. Just Add Color says, well, I love you and appreciate you very much. Well, thank you. Love you too. Man, you're so helpful and your channel rocks. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone watching. We've been going on for a while now. I just appreciate all the support. My main mission with the channel is just to help you get that first step into eBay to help you go further, faster along your reseller journey. And maybe you resell on Poshmark, Mercari, doesn't matter. The same principles apply. Is we want to be able to know the market of our items. We want to be able to structure titles so our items get found. And we want to be able to be transparent to the end buyer to show, hey, this is what I'm selling, this is what you're getting, and not making things seem better than they are. So just that is the mission, is to help you guys get to establishing a 6-figure business. Maybe you do want to do eBay and maybe you're just doing part-time right now. Well, I was just doing part-time eBay, and then I went all in as soon as eBay was starting to pay for the rent and the expenses, and then we made that jump. So no matter where you're at and along your reseller life, just know that over time, that compound effect is going to come and assist you and to help you grow your business. You know, you may be only making $100 a week on eBay, but that 100 is going to turn into 200, 200 going to turn into 300, and you can see that slow growth and go in and look at your analytics. Go month over month, go year over year, and that will bring reassurance to the work that you're putting in on eBay today is working. So just stay committed to the process. I appreciate you all. Bill says 20 every single day. Thanks, man, for the review. You're welcome. Appreciate you, Bill. It says we have calculated and we are in Florida, so that's why it's showing high because you're in Oregon. Yeah. Yeah, flat rate. I love flat rate shipping for most things. I can see that if you are shipping with hard goods and stuff, that can be easier. Or if you're shipping shoes, that can even be a decent option. But being able to provide the best shipping price possible for the end buyer is going to help you convert in the long run. So, I know this has been a lot to digest and a lot to do, but if you just focus on the little things every day, you'll be surprised on how far that takes you. And if you're wanting to get a little bit more help with your eBay journey, I meet with other resellers 5 days a week, helping them put the same system and processes in place that helped me reach over $178,000 in sales last year on eBay. And right now I'm offering a free 7-day trial where I have an eBay store review for you where it's written out. I break down all of your shipping, your photos, and everything. You have access to a reseller spreadsheet. And we go in detail Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via Zoom in a group-like setting where you can ask questions Monday through Friday to answer them for you. So you could check it out, linked in the description down below, and I'd love to see you there. Well, I hope you guys got value. If you want to know kind of what else is selling in my eBay store and what exactly I'm selling and what it's selling for, you could check out this video here where it goes more in detail on what I'm looking out for, what brands I'm picking up, and how much they're selling for. And hopefully that can be helpful for you as you continue your reseller journey. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of the day and take care.